amazing exhibit, Give Me My Flowers. Yes! As y'all already know, this exhibit is amazing. It's been featured here at the Delaware Contemporary, and we have the lovely Shakira Hunt, creator, designer, curator, actually, of Give Me My Flowers. We also have Josh with us, who is engagement manager here at the Contemporary. I just want to say thank you for, allowing this exhibit to live. Shakira, we just want to say thank you for bringing this exhibit and this body of work to life, right? So, Give Me My Flowers, what is it about, right? So let's dive deep into it.
Yes, so Give Me My Flowers is really an exploration through Black men specifically and their masculinity. For me, this whole body of work really started through experimentation and play with our good friend Akeem here. If you guys have been through the exhibit, you'll notice that Akeem's portrait is one of the first that leads to the others. But that's really where it started. The body of work, before I even knew what the concept was going to be what it's going to be, simply started as that. We wanted to creatively do something as we were on lockdown and within quarantine, and it was really just a way for us to get out and do something, just to feed that creativity, because we had, kind of been inside for a couple of weeks and things. So after that series or concept kind of grew from that, session of us just being outside and playing, typing it on Instagram and literally developing the concept from that image or that session that we did. And I'm looking at the work, and one of the things that stuck out to me was this very mass-presenting man who had these very soft looks and actions, and just displayed this very nurturing feminine display on top of his masculine presence. And it really just kind of went from there. And as I was typing out the caption, I developed the concept of, exploring masculinity, but, men honoring the feminine energy that exists within, because that's where true balance comes from. And from there, it was really just like, okay, I think this image works. This body of work that I just started, I feel like I should dig more into it. And so it wasn't just about showing one version of man. It was, how do I, show various forms of men through their masculinity, but also how they honor the feminine energy that exists within. So it started with Akeem, very heterosexual man, but also in tune with his feminine side. Then we jumped into a visual artist, Seven God, and his son, to show, father and son dynamic. We went to Jaquan next, who is a heterosexual male, very in tune with his feminine side as well, and we photographed him outside of his family's business, which was super significant. So everyone's location has some kind of significance to their masculine presence. So like I said, we photographed him outside of his family business, which is Leroy's.
Yes.
If you guys know, you know. Then we jumped into Aaron, who is a queer man, very much in tune with his feminine side, not afraid to show it. And I think there's something to say there, because men of all sex, ranges, I feel have always felt that they needed to turn down or tune down their feminine side or hide it. And that's not what this series is about. It's really just to embrace that, however that looks. Then we went to Oba and Brandon, who is husband and husband dynamic, which was fantastic, and we photographed them not too far from Oba's shop Push, in a very raw environment, again, showing, the very raw presence that they give, very mass-presenting, but also queer. Then I went to London and photographed my two cousins, who are both queer men, Black, and of Caribbean descent, so there's a whole lot to kind of unwrap there. And then to cap it all off, we photographed Bonesy. And Bonesy is this very hyper-masculine presence, and he was just really the perfect addition to this whole body of work.
Yeah.
So that is how the body of work. That's really just how it all organically developed. And this started, like I said, just out of quarantine about a year ago, and it was completed early this year. So we capped it with Bonesy, and we finished that series. I want to say, was it March? Maybe?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, it was like early
March.
spring.
Yeah.
So that's how the body of work grew and developed.
So what are some additional steps or things that are going to be featured with the Give Me My Flowers exhibit outside of just this display of body of work?
So in addition to the printed imagery, I knew that I wanted to do some kind of visual. In fact, before the whole body of work became developed into a photography series, I actually wanted to do some kind of response visual, if you will, prior to any of this was developed. And this was something that I talked to you about, spoke to Seven about. It was really just to get our Black men together, especially after George Floyd and seeing all the injustice that we were experiencing. That's really where my mind was. And instead, it diverted to a photograph series. And then after completing this, I then revisited the visual aspect. And so, because I wanted something that people can connect to, also an opportunity for me to really dig deeper into why I even created this work, why I wanted to explore Black men specifically. I felt that that was the last leg to just kind of complete the work itself, outside of all of the things that we're doing additionally, like panel discussions and wellness events and things like that, to really like invite people back in. So it's not just an exhibition displaying work, but it's a full experience. It's also a healing experience, because that's what this body of work became to me as I dug deeper into it.
And Josh, as engagement manager here at the Contemporary, how has this impacted the exhibit, or the museum itself? Because I feel like this is a unique body of work that has literally entered this space.
Right.
So what was your thoughts on it when she came to you about it?
Well, I'll take it back a little bit to when I guess I approached you. I sent Shakira a DM on Instagram, but prior to that, I've been watching this series take place on Instagram and tons of promotions around that. And I was like, wow, this. Just seeing the different levels of masculinity, and then how from Akeem to Seven, which were your early on, subjects, and seeing that take place, I was like, wow, I've got to get her in the museum. And with our summer theme, touching on identity and how people in the community identify themselves, and our identity, 100% of who we are, and how people are going to perceive us. So it worked out well, and so we got you in. And it created a sense of balance. Because in this show, we have, BIPOC individuals, different levels of masculinity, and they're all touching on these different scopes of identity, and, different races. And, so I love it, and it just created a sense of balance. It was just another topic we needed to touch on.
And non-conformity too. There's a lot of, misinterpretation of how we should be, how we should move, and how we have to conform just being Black people. And, that clearly looks different. Masculinity looks different.
Right.
The energy is what it is. It doesn't define it.
And then for myself, what I really learned yesterday in school here, and one of the artists, Seven Guy, was saying, we're changing the narrative. We are going to now create the narrative that other people have misconstrued or changed or altered. So we're just going to recreate that narrative. And that's what you've done. You recreated the narrative. And I think with all your programming, it's going to feed that.
Yeah, like I said, the work has really just been an opportunity to express my own healing process. And how that's kind of, developed was recognizing, again, why I chose to specifically focus on Black men and masculinity, and this idea of, having this emotional void that exists within our Black men and community. And, that came from a personal relationship that I had through partnership, romantically, and then also understanding the same dynamic existed within, my dad's relationship. So it really just allowed me to really come from a space of understanding, but then also giving them space to know that, I'm not coming from a judging place.
Yeah.
I'm here to work with you, not against you,
Yeah.
and to create space so that you can feel
Yeah.
and be okay with feeling.
Yeah. Because a lot of Black men don't have that opportunity to have that space, to be vulnerable, and want to be expressive.
Right.
It's like, as a Black man, it was like, nah, you're too expressive.
Yeah,
And like you said,
like,
you get identified as a certain thing that
as
confines
close.
you, and it's not true.
Right.
So I think this was a great expression of diverse Black men. And like y'all said, we are a monolith. So we come in so many different shapes, forms of expression. So my next question is, how have the reviews been? How have the people been responding to
Folks
this
are
exhibit?
receiving it. The work is being received in so many beautiful grand gestures. Obviously, people coming down to see the work is enough for me. But outside of that, it's really pushing the work outside of where we are. You know what I mean? I of course want our immediate community to feel this work, to connect to this work, and to be invited to come here and share this space, because this is where we are. This is where we live. This is where we're from. So obviously, my immediate goal is to connect with the community here. But outside of that, there's a deeper conversation. And I feel like across the board, nationally, internationally, people all feel the same way. And ironically, this is how perfectly aligned this work is in this time, because the subject of masculinity, good and bad, is trending. And it's a topic of conversation because it's too, you know what I mean? That level of suppression just isn't healthy. And it's really just giving space to men, our male counterparts, to thrive, to live, so that we can thrive and live as women, and vice versa. So it's really just a balancing act.
And I think on the standpoint of the institutional side, I was in a training and I was asked, how as an institution are we adding to the healing process in the community? And I think this show does that. It does it. And I think when we had the public opening, folks were very interested on how can we see more and how can we see the programming. Because they knew, it doesn't stop here, it can't stop here. There's definitely a big, much deeper.
It's definitely been much deeper for me from the start. I knew that in addition to this work, I needed a visual. But in addition to that, there's dialogue that's important, that is necessary to have. And so through that, we have the upcoming panel discussion, July 28th, where we will have open dialogue. I've invited and reached out to a couple of folks closer to me, and some folks that are not in our immediate community that I felt were gonna, be a really great add to Delaware Presence, to Wilmington. So I'm very excited about that. This is going to be really just a fluid conversation. We're gonna have a panel discussion and pop-up shop. So along with the work, I developed a book. So the book will be available. We have some fun merch coming as well too. So it's growing a lot of legs. So I'm very excited to dig into that in the next couple of weeks. And then following that, we do have a wellness event to close the show. And then
And that will be when?
August 21st.
August 21st.
So I'm super excited about that.
I like how you've been saying this word more specifically, dialogue. Because although we're going to have a panel, we're going to have some folks that can touch on the topic a little more, closely, because they're connected to it in their profession or through family, community, whatever. It's still a dialogue. We're not here to label anyone. We're not here to say this is this is that. It's an open dialogue. To talk about it.
And there's no level of hierarchy either. No one is above anyone. You know what I mean? We're all just coming together to just talk. And the nice thing about that, when we did the visual premiere, which was super fun and very organic, but immediately after, showing the viewing of the visual, we organically wanted to talk about it. And I felt that was just the perfect precursor to the actual
Yes.
open dialogue that we're gonna have, so.
Yeah. So if you wasn't there, you missed out, but it's okay.
It's okay, there's still time,
July 28th,
yeah,
panel discussion. Make sure you are there. It's going to be great. And like we said, they're going to end it off with a wellness.
yeah.
A wellness. Come on, guys. Come
Yeah.
on. They're feeding us right now. And that's going to be August 21st, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
And that's the last days of the show as well.
Yeah,
So make sure you get in here, check it out. We're here at the Delaware Contemporary, down at the riverfront. It's a beautiful exhibit. And there's also other exhibits that are existing in
Absolutely.
here that you definitely should check out as well. Y'all already know I'm your host and your boy, the king. Lovely Shakira. And Josh. Until next time, y'all.
See you.
yeah.